Okay, as I bowls it up, I thought I was recording myself, but I really well didn't. Forgot to press the record button. Donut. Get out of my video. Okay, anyway, information. Right, tourist information behind me here. Just to let you know that there is an English speaking tourist information person in the place, information office, yeah. So just been in to see what type of guides and tourist attractions that are around, not just in Sierra de la Ventana, but in some of the other provinces. Oh, there you just see the bird flying over me. Yeah, so there's a few other, a few, I would say. There's quite a lot of other activities, not just in Sierra de la Ventana, but outside in the local provinces, or local villages, whichever or towns, whichever you like to call them. So there's a range of like hiking. There's guides on going through the mountains. There's if you like stargazing, there's an option to do that during the evening. Obviously, if you want to do some hiking and stuff, you're only limited to doing one or two attractions. Okay, that's because a lot of the areas around Sierra de la Ventana are privately owned, so you do need a self-guided, not a self-guided, you do need a tour guide to go around these attractions. And some of them between 4 to 10 hours of hiking. Okay, so there's plenty to see and do in Sierra de la Ventana itself. You're not short of food. There's plenty of good restaurants, bars, in Saldungaray, if I can get the name right. There's a wine factory. You can do tour guides around there. There's cheeses, and there's also an airport there that would obviously take you up and do some tours around the scenery, around the mountain ranges. Baptism flights is called. Well, there you go then. I don't think it's to do with anything like Catholic things or religions. Religions, that's the one I was looking for. Yeah, yeah. So with the knowledge of the place around here, it feels like you're in a Western movie. That's because it's relatively young compared to what a lot of modern day towns are and stuff. It's just the feeling that I get walking around Sierra de la Ventana. But I'll take some more pictures and keep you updated on the local attractions and stuff. So yeah, catch you later. 4-day holiday in Sierra de la Ventana, which is still in Buenos Aires, but right down in the southern province. Um, Absolutely amazing. I never even thought there would be mountains in Buenos Aires at all, but to compare the size of Buenos Aires, you could say you could almost fit the UK in Buenos Aires. It's that big. Obviously, if you look on a world map, uh, scroll out from Google Maps, and you'll see how big Argentina is anyway. But in Sierra de la Ventana, it's quite a young town. Don't think there was much there until, let's say, after the Second World War. So that's how young the town is. However, if you wish to go, by all means do. It's a fantastic place. There's plenty of well, I can't think of the name now. There's plenty of excursions to do. Hiking, climbing. Winter time you can do ice climbing. There's fishing, canoeing, golf. I think there's some flights in the town just before Sierra de la Ventana. It's called Saldun Garay, or if you're a Brummie, you could say Saldun Garay. Okay, so that works all right. So we went to we also well myself me and my wife we went to a place called Villa Ventana, or if you're from Buenos Aires or somewhere like that, you would pronounce the double L as an SH, so it would be Villa Ventana. Okay, so we done some horse riding there. There's also quad biking. There's a tour that they do in a 4x4 bus, which is an old Argentine military vehicle truck. They converted it a bit. So they do only a little bit of off-roading. It's not much, but it takes you to Villa Ventana, which was a hotel for the extremely rich. So you could just imagine booking yourself into a 5-star hotel. Okay, that's like, you gotta have a few quid behind you, if you want to stay in somewhere like that, unless you're lucky enough to win a prize somewhere, or you saved up to do so. But to compare that hotel to this day and age, it would be like a 7-star hotel. So it's basically for the extremely rich people. And if you could think back then, that when houses were built, or hotels or places like that, the main structures, the beams would be made of oak. Okay, so they're quite solid. But in the hotel, they'd already started using steel beams, so it was quite ahead of the game. And also electric. So I mean, if you're thinking from 1904, when electric was probably only just being discovered, or has been discovered but not yet in use, this hotel had it. It had everything. It also had a train, running from Sierra de la Ventana to the hotel in Villa Ventana. However, when people from all over the world basically were traveling to Argentina, it would say take 40 days by ship, say from the UK to get to Buenos Aires. It would take them 40 days to get down to I think it's Alta Blanca, or I think it's not quite sure. It's just south of Buenos Aires, near Sierra de la Ventana. There's a port around there, and that's where they used to sail to. And then they used to get collected. Well, they used to take the train from there to Sierra de la Ventana, and then from Sierra de la Ventana, used to go by horse and carriage to get to the hotel. Um, and at that time, there was absolutely nothing else around. There was just this hotel, okay? Um, but when people were going to stay, and if they had a bad storm or it was very hard rain, the people who were staying there, um, they were complaining that they could not get from um, the hotel to Sierra del Ventana where the train was. There would at the time there was no station at Sierra del Ventana. The track just went straight past. Okay, so people were complaining that they couldn't get from the hotel to Sierra del Ventana or from Sierra del Ventana to the hotel because of the rain. So then they got the British engineers to construct a station at Sierra del Ventana, and they made the railway from Sierra del Ventana right outside the hotel. So it took the British engineers 18 months to build that, and now that's back then. That is now some going. It took 13 bridges and 3 tunnels. Okay, so I had to bore through the mountain just to create the track. So you can just imagine, how how vast the technology was back then. So it took them years and stuff to plant the trees. The wife's just out doing the washing now. I love you.
Who are you talking to?
Myself and my fans on my video. So anyway, that was that part. I would highly recommend going. Now we also we went to a restaurant on a first night. Okay, this is compared to how cheap it would be. The whole the
Dionisios.
Dionysios. Okay, my Spanish is crap, so my wife done it for me. Dionysios restaurant, absolutely amazing. The food was cooked to perfection, delicious, absolutely delicious. So we had 2 main courses, 1 dessert for my wife, a bottle of wine, and a beer. Okay, a pint of beer. Now, say to compare that now to if you were sort of like eating in the UK. Okay, if you were dining out in the UK, nice restaurant, nice meals that we had. I had steak and pancetta. The wife had, I think it was chicken and some other pancetta and stuff like that. And now, with the wine and everything, you'd probably look to pay around 50, 60 quid, maybe. When I paid for our meals at the restaurant, now the exchange rate, it was 22 quid. So it's absolutely cheap because of the pound to peso. £1 to 70 pesos. Okay, a lot of people around that area, Sierra del Ventana, Vicia Ventana, complain that it's expensive, but don't tell them that. Don't tell them that it was cheap. Okay. However, anyway, apart from that, we done a guided tour around the mountains of Sierra de la Ventana. We only done a small tour, it wasn't much. So we had to pay our guide. You have to get a guide to go around the mountains. You can't just there's only a very limited access to where you can go without a guide. Health and safety stuff, and they're basically they just want to look after their land, so nobody goes up and just starts messing around and doing all kinds of shit for no reason. So you can say the cost, myself, my wife, the 150 pesos each to get into the park plus the guide, just came to about 62 quid. Okay, and that was for a good 5 hours at least. But there's quite a lot of other stuff to do. You'll see through my videos, and we were gifted, absolutely gifted, on the day of our hike to see the black-chested buzzard eagle. It's absolutely amazing to see one of them predatory animals in their natural habitat, and to get extremely close. Obviously my video wasn't as good as I had hoped it to be, but you'll see anyway. It's absolutely amazing, fantastic. Just go. I highly recommend it. It's so cheap, it's inexpensive. The most expensive part of the trip would be to get from well, obviously your flights to and from Argentina. Now we booked a coach from Buenos Aires down to Sierra de la Ventana. It's an overnight coach. It normally takes about 10 hours. The seats on the coach are reclining, so you basically the seats turn into a bed. It's very comfortable. We got some good sleep on there. Felt refreshed when we got down there. We stayed in a hotel, B&B called Rice's B&B. The owner spoke perfect English. If you want to find out more information, go to the tourist information office there. There is a lady that works there in the tourist information office in De La Ventana, and she can give you more information. A tour guide also for the hiking, he spoke English, not perfect English, but he did speak English. So, but if you can speak to him in part English, or he can try and understand. But yeah, recommend it. I think, well, the cost of the hotel for 3 nights was 110 quid. Yeah, it's perfect. Absolutely, it's cheap. It's great. It's so cheap that you wouldn't even think to buy food like during the day. Well, from the stores to have a meal at the evening. It's so cheap just to eat out. If there's 2 of you going, even if you go with a family. So obviously this time of the year, it was just gone from winter to spring. But still, it can be cold on some days. Other days it can be quite warm. But coming into the summertime, if you are going then, just be prepared, because it gets quite hot anyway. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the videos, guys, and if you need any information, just send me a message. Our guide for, where did I put it? I'm trying to think. I should have got this ready. Love, do you know where I put that leaflet for Juan? Juan's leaflet.
Once.
Yeah. Oh, hello. See me now.
Yeah. You should think about these things.
Yeah, I should do. Yeah. Sorry. No proper planning. No preparing.
Don't worry.
Here we are.
No,
No, she's not got it. Not got it. Slow down.
Slow down, you husband.
told off by the wife.
As usual. No. Here.
Here we go. Okay. Right. Now if you can see this. Yeah. That is Juan Navarro. Juanjo Navarro. Okay. He's on Facebook and Instagram. So if you look him up, great guy, absolutely fantastic. Excellent knowledge of the area. So if there's anything you want to know or you want to do any more treks or hikes or other outdoor activities, he's your man. Absolutely. Great bloke. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, she did enjoy herself as well. Okay. Cheers, guys. Anything you need, just message me on YouTube. Okay.
Leave a comment down below.
Yeah, if you do like my videos, hit the like button, subscribe. Anything else you need, kit, whatever, let me know.